Grayson Chrisley cried tears of joy upon learning that his parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, had been pardoned. He was with his sister, Savannah Chrisley, when President Trump called with the news, and it was clear he was in shock. So what were his exact words? Keep reading for more details. Grayson Chrisley cries tears of joy. When Todd and Julie Chrisley were sentenced to a collective 19 years in jail, it deeply affected their children. Their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, became the guardian of their two youngest kids, Chloe and Grayson Chrisley. That was a daunting task, especially since she was young and still working on her career. However, she stepped up, and Grayson graduated from high school without his parents. Chloe and Grayson have praised Savannah and how much she did for them. They loved and appreciated her as if she were their own mom. Savannah even got Grayson off to college and made sure that his dorm was perfect. Now, Todd and Julie Chrisley have been pardoned by President Trump. This means they can come home any day, and Grayson was there when the call came in. He can be heard sobbing as President Trump shares that their parents will be home within a day, and he will do all he can to get them out ASAP. Grayson hopped on the phone, and through tears, he thanked the president for freeing his parents. It was clear that he was overwhelmed but grateful at the same time. Savannah has worked to no end over the last 2 years to bring awareness to prison problems and free her parents. She has felt that they suffered behind bars and needed to come home. More so, she and Grayson Chrisley just spent time at a presidential event, and it was evident what their goal was. He posed alongside his brother, Chase Chrisley, wearing presidential slogan hats. They wanted to show their support for him, as their end goal was Todd and Julie's freedom. Fans are emotional with Grayson. After hearing Grayson Chrisley tear up and speak to the president, fans became very emotional. He shared where he went to college, and they had a brief back and forth. Now, they are waiting for word that they can go get their parents, which Savannah Chrisley is prepping for. She wants to ensure they have all they need to make the transition smooth. Regardless, the love and support are flowing. It looks like this reunion will be filled with so many tears. Are you happy they are freed? And what did you think of Grayson Chrisley's emotional moment? Let us know in the comments below. For Grayson Chrisley, life has felt like a roller coaster without a seatbelt for the past 2 years. Spiraling, uncertain, and way too fast for someone his age. From the abrupt arrest of his parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, to the shocking federal convictions that tore apart the Chrisley household, the youngest Chrisley child had to grow up quickly. But on a day no one thought would come so soon, a presidential pardon changed everything. And for the first time in months, Grayson cried. Not in pain, but in absolute joy. It was a moment filled with emotion and disbelief when news broke that Todd and Julie Chrisley had been granted a full pardon. The presidential order came after growing scrutiny over inconsistencies in their trial and increasing public support for the couple, including a swell of petitions spearheaded by daughter Savannah Chrisley and fans across the country. But for 18-year-old Grayson, the news didn't just mean legal redemption. It meant getting his mom and dad back. A phone call that changed his world. Grayson was in the middle of a quiet dinner with his older sister Savannah when her phone rang. It was a call from the family's attorney. The news was simple, yet seismic. Both Todd and Julie had received full pardons. No more probation. No more halfway houses. No more supervised releases. They were free. Truly free. Grayson reportedly froze, then looked at Savannah, who was already tearing up as she confirmed it aloud. They're coming home. That's when the dam broke. According to a close family friend who was present, Grayson covered his face with his hands and sobbed uncontrollably. It was the purest moment of relief I've ever seen, the friend shared. That boy has been through more than anyone knows. His tears weren't just joy, they were release. It was like he finally exhaled after holding his breath for years. I just want my mom and dad. The emotional toll of Todd and Julie's imprisonment hit Grayson especially hard. Once the carefree, athletic, funny youngest sibling featured on Chrisley Knows Best, Grayson quickly faded from public view after their sentencing. He struggled with depression, kept a low profile on social media, and rarely made public appearances. In one rare interview during their incarceration, he admitted, "I just want my mom and dad. It doesn't feel right to sit at the dinner table without hearing my dad's sarcastic jokes or my mom reminding me to say grace." The absence wasn't just physical. It was deeply spiritual for Grayson. Holidays were hollow. His graduation from high school was bittersweet, marked by framed photos of his parents rather than their physical presence. Birthdays passed in quiet reflection, and the once lively Chrisley home fell silent. But now, all of that was about to change. A family reunited. Within 48 hours of the pardon announcement, Todd and Julie were released and reunited with their children. Their arrival at the Nashville home, now famously maintained by Savannah during their absence, was emotional beyond words. Paparazzi cameras captured blurry images of hugs, tears, and Todd planting a firm kiss on Grayson's forehead, a gesture the teen had waited nearly 2 years to receive. "Mom looked different, thinner maybe," Grayson said later in a heartfelt Instagram post. "But her smile? It was exactly the same. And Dad? He hugged me like he'd never let go again." The reunion was capped with a family dinner, homemade by Nanny Faye, of course, featuring all their favorites: chicken pot pie, creamed corn, and peach cobbler. But what stood out most wasn't the food. It was the laughter. For the first time in forever, Grayson wrote, "We sat at the table and laughed." It echoed. It filled every empty room they left behind. The world reacts. Fans of the Chrisley family flooded social media with words of support and emotional messages celebrating the pardon. While critics questioned the timing and motives behind the decision, supporters rallied behind the sentiment that justice had finally been served. One particularly viral tweet read, "Seeing Grayson Chrisley cry happy tears as his parents walk free. That's what matters. Say what you will about politics, but a kid getting his family back is everything." Savannah Chrisley also posted a video montage of the reunion set to Rascal Flatts' "Bless the Broken Road," captioning it simply, "He's home. She's home. We're whole again." What's next for Grayson? While the Chrisleys have hinted at a possible return to television or a docuseries chronicling their ordeal, Grayson has expressed a desire to live a little more under the radar, at least for now. "I've had enough cameras for a lifetime," he told a close friend. "Right now, I just want to enjoy having my parents back." He's planning to start college in the fall, and he's already talking about becoming a mental health advocate for children and teens of incarcerated parents. He's even drafted a short book about his experience titled "Letters to My Parents," a raw, emotional collection of notes he wrote but never sent while they were behind bars. Full circle, the road back to normalcy will be long for the Chrisleys. Trust has to be rebuilt. Public opinion may never fully shift, but for Grayson, it doesn't matter how the world sees his family, only how he feels when he wakes up to his parents' voices again. In his final words during a live Instagram chat following the reunion, Grayson looked straight into the camera, his eyes still glassy from tears, and said,